All right then, moving on. So we just figured out how to do levels, and I want to show you. So basically, like levels are how we control or rather the horizontal assemblies and where they are in the vertical axis, right? But when we're developing plans, the ones that you're going to be working on here, you can see that they're actually a series of almost like levels, lines that go across those plans. And those are what's called grid lines. So here you can see those grid lines are, they have a little bubble at the top, kind of like a level, and then it has a center line, right, that just kind of carries across the whole plan. That center line right here. Okay, and then those center lines are actually dimensioned. I don't even know how to cancel that. All right, so those center lines are dimensioned, and that is going to be your primary organization for your buildings. Now, arguably, so we're teaching type 2B structures, or type 2 structure rather, and a type 5 structure in these two classes rather. But what you'll notice is that on the, well actually you won't notice because we have a plan that that actually has grids as well. But generally speaking, type 5 plan, oh, I just opened up a different PDF viewer, sorry guys. I'm going to stick to this. But so type 5 buildings don't have to have grids if they're small enough. The one that we got from Pisan has grids because it's a much larger building. It's like a 3,800 square foot house. So yeah, somebody had money. All right. All right, so moving on, back into Revit. What I'd like you to do is go back to your level 1 floor plan. That's this one here. I'll close that. I'll just make this a little bigger. So how do grids behave in Revit, right? Grids are drawn on like lines, and they're sort of preloaded with a set of parameters. You can create them by going to the Architecture tab, and then go all the way over here to Datum. And notice that level and grid are paired up, and you can't create levels in a plan view. It's the same way in elevation. You can't, well, actually you can create a grid in elevation, sorry. But there's just no reason, no way for you to create a level in plan view. But anyway, so we're going to click that to create a grid, and it pulls up a like a crosshair like this, like you're just drawing a line. So let's just put one grid across the view here. All right. Yes.
What happens if the guide grid is it's not highlighted, so you can't select it?
Are you in? Hang on. Come take a look. Okay, so that is a grid line. When you hit escape, what it's going to look like is a center line with a bubble with a little number or letter in it. Do you have a question, Carl?
Oh no.
Okay, you're. It looked like you were being shy about raising your hand. So okay, all right. So so what we're going to do here is we're going to learn a little bit about how to modify these so that we can use them to basically lay out what our building's going to be. The good thing about these grids is you can copy them, and you can copy them rather easily. If you click it and then type in CO to copy, before you do anything, I want to point out in the top left corner of the green bar, the top left corner of the green bar right here, there's this little checkbox that says multiple. If you click that, it'll allow you to just copy, copy, copy by clicking. So click that, and then click your base point and just copy, 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 copy. Doesn't matter where you put it, and I'll show you why in a second. So copy, 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 like that. I'll pause for a moment while I wait for you guys to catch up. Okay, so we created 5 grids, and I just want to point out real quick that those 5 grids very intelligently numbered themselves. So that's a very important distinction, I think. So what I'm going to do here is do another grid in the other direction. So luckily, both the buildings that we're working with are orthogonal in terms of their grid system. So that's really helpful for us as starting users in Revit. So I'm going to do another grid. I'm going to pull this one across this way. And then before I make copies of that, I'm going to change the grid number to a letter. Okay, so what you'll notice is, and I don't know if these are done that way. Yeah, they are. A general convention with your grid system is to do numbers in one axis and letters in the other axis. Okay, that's how you can say, like, rather than saying, oh, along grid 1, 1 or grid 1, 5, and you don't know whether it's the top 5 or the side 5, you do that convention so that I can say, all right, along grids around the intersection of grid A11, and then you go right to this corner right here, which there's nothing there, but yeah.
Does it matter if you have like letters pointing upwards and downwards vertically?
We'll talk about that. You're talking about whether or not it's on the top or bottom of the line. Yeah, I'm going to show you how to modify that in a second. Okay, so I'm going to switch this to an A, and you definitely want it to be a capital A. Almost everything in architectural drawing is with caps. That's why when you text message or whatever, like you Spark or Slack your coworkers in the office, they're not yelling at you. They just happen to have caps lock on. So this A, the A grid line, I'm going to make some copies of that. So I'm going to hit CO, and you'll notice the multiple checkbox is still on, so I don't need to recheck that. And I'm just going to copy another 4 or 5 of them up this way. And look at that. It very intelligently numbered it, or I should say lettered it, A, B, C, D, E. So it knows where you left off, which is pretty cool. Okay. So now the other question on the table was, how do I modify these? I'm going to show you 2 things about modifying these grids. How do you modify where the head is and what it looks like a little bit? And then how do you actually modify their position in an intelligent way? Well, actually, let me pause. I'm going to do this as a second video.